Hey, welcome to Hasty Brew. You know, my favorite part about game dev is there's no one right way to make a game. Each game dev challenge is like a puzzle. You solve different parts and the picture starts to come together. In this video, we'll be making a 2D platformer, only using basic, beginner-friendly methods that are built to scale with your game. We'll be making or faking our own gravity, using old-school methods more similar to classic platformers, but we'll also be going a lot further by adding wall jumping, hit points, traps, enemies, levels, collectibles, UI, and even a final boss at the end. And yeah, even though this is a longer video, we'll build it in smaller parts so you can see the pieces come together. The assets for this project come from a free kit on craftpix.net, link in the description. They reached out about a year ago and asked if I wanted to use their kits for a project, and they haven't complained yet, so I'll keep using them. There's also a cheat sheet to help you import the assets, and all of the notes for this project are on GitHub. I literally read from my notes when I built this out, it's all there. Okay, with all of that out of the way, this is how to make your own 2D platformer. Hey everyone, welcome to building your own 2D platformer in GameMaker. So there's just a few top level things I want to cover before we get into it. So let's see here. This all comes from a free kit on craftpix.net. You can download it here, and this will contain pretty much everything we'll use for the entire project. Also on my Ko-Fi, you'll find, where is it? This cheat sheet here. It's an import sheet that shows you how to import, how to take files from that extracted folder that you get from CraftPix and change the names into something GameMaker can actually use. So we have idle.png gets changed to SPR boy idle underscore strip 11. That underscore strip 11 is a naming convention used by GameMaker so that it'll automatically take that image and put it into a sprite sheet with multiple frames for you. Really nice, really convenient. You'll also see two locations, tiles, tileset.png. I'll show you right now how we're going to cut those up so that, we can actually use them. One more thing really quickly, since this did come from a larger project, I did accidentally leave in two sprites, sprite key strip 7 and sprite key chest locked. Those come from a paid kit on craftpix.net. Yeah, I was going to cut it, but it makes up 5 to 10 minutes of footage in a 4-hour video. So I figured might as well leave it in. A lot of people come with their own assets. One thing though, I am going to make lemonade out of this. I'm turning on my affiliate link for craftpix.net. So if you do end up purchasing a subscription through there, I make 25% or something. I don't know. It's never happened before, but just full disclosure, when those things come up, it's collectibles and UI about a key and a chest. They're not important to the project at all, but yeah, when they come up, if you don't have it or don't want to make those assets yourself, you can just go ahead and skip those parts. Okay, I think that's about it. Oh yeah, really quickly, I have notes on GitHub. So these are the notes that I used when building this project. If there are changes that need to be made, it'll happen in here. And this gives you a complete breakdown, all the code, everything like that. Again, I literally read from these notes when I was building it out. So I think with all of that, we're ready to show how to cut up one of those sprites in GameMaker. So I've gone ahead and opened GameMaker. This is just a new project for this demo. I've dragged in a tile set from the downloaded folder. This is in 5GUI interface, and it's called tile set. So I'm just going to rename it right here to Sprite GUI Master. And I'm going to duplicate it here. And we're going to call this sprite border. And I'm going to click into sprite border here. You see it's the entire thing because we duplicated it. I'm going to come into edit image. And then up here at the top, click image. And where is it? Convert to frames right here. Now, I don't remember this all the way. But let's see. I think it's really not make that bigger. Okay. This is going to be 48 by 48. And I think this is over, 96 and 0. So you see frame width, frame height, we set that up. We have a horizontal pixel offset, and we're just doing one frame for this. We could do multiple frames the way that with the underscore strip 7, all that before. But, this is just an easy way to do this. So we're going to click convert here at the bottom. And yeah, it's going to cut it, it's letting us know that. And yeah, we're left with the one piece of that giant image that we told it to cut. One other thing I think for this, we need to resize this. So this is just 32 by 32 to fit with the rest of, everything else we have going on. And yeah, that's about all we need to get started with this. So let's go ahead and start with the first part, making your own gravity in GameMaker. Let's get to it. Okay, here we go. Let's get started on making this 2D platformer. So we're going to open up GameMaker, select new game, blank game, give it a project name, and click Let's Go. The first thing, let's come into our room here and resize it. It's going to be 320 by 288, which is the original Game Boy size, so it'll work really nicely with our sprites. We will want to bump that up using code a little bit later. Let's come in here to Game Options, Windows. I'm just going to expand this. We're going to come into Graphics, uncheck Interpolate Colors Between Pixels, and check Allow Window Resize, and then click Apply for all that to go through. So now that we have all that, let's go ahead and make some groups. So we're going to need a group for rooms, a group for objects, and a group for sprites. And inside of these, we're going to have another group for barriers, one for what is it here? Blocks, and one for characters. And inside characters, here, we're going to put one more. And this one's going to be our player. And we're going to do the same thing for objects. So create a group barriers, create a group blocks, create a group, what did I say? Characters, and then player. Player inside of that. So, okay, we're going to take this room, drag it into our rooms. And yeah, I think we're ready to start making some sprites. So these sprites come from Craft Picks. I will highlight which sprites we'll be using for this, and we'll be using different sprites throughout these videos. So I think for this one we need... for this one we need run, idle, jump. Did it get jump? No? Okay, and fall here. There we go. So I think that's all we need for players right now. We need a few more. So we're going to drag in this sprite BG. And I don't have a group for this, so maybe we should make one, group BG, and drag that sprite BG into there. We have this sprite border, which we'll drag into blocks. Okay, and I'm going to take one more here. This is called tile set. This is just straight the way it is from the asset kit once you unzip it. So we're going to change this name to sprite blocks master. And I think... Okay, yeah, before I forget, let's come back here to sprite border, turn on 9 slice for this, and just drag these in just so they're past the corners. And so that, let's go see what that does right now. So if we come in here, create object, what is this, border, and set the sprite. Now we can drag it into our room. Let's click this open square tool to recenter. Then yeah, we can take this, drag it out, resize it however we want, right? And it doesn't get all distorted or anything like that. It like preserves the corners. So that's what 9 slicing is, and it's really nice and simple. Okay, so let's go back to sprite blocks master. We're going to duplicate this and make sprite ledge. Next, we're going to come into we're going to click edit image, and then up here there's an image thing. We're going to click that and convert to frames. And then here we're just going to enter in some info. So this is actually 48 by 16, and you'll see it's moving this little white selected square right there. Yeah, so 128, that gets us this little ledge thing. So we're going to click convert. Yes, and so yeah, we converted this sprite blocks master into just this sprite ledge. Now we're going to make some barriers, and these are just kind of visual feedback. Well, we're going to use them for our collision, but it's also something you can handle through like collision rectangle or something like that. So yeah, what am I doing here? This is not right. So let's create a sprite here. This will be sprite barrier floor, and the size 2 by 32. Oh, nope, 32. Whoops. Take this. It's 32 by 4. We're going to color this a magenta color. And actually, I have in my settings to automatically default to middle center for the origin, but this needs to be top left. This needs to be top left. This needs to be top left too, I'm pretty sure. Okay, yeah. So let's come back here and create another sprite. This is sprite barrier wall. And this one is size 2 by 32. I'm going to edit this image, take another magenta, just fill that. Let's get another sprite here. So this is sprite player floor. This is size 14 by 2. Let's edit that, get it a nice, whoops. Oh, actually, no, let's fill this with like a blue. That way there's some difference. We can see the two interacting with each other. And actually, this origin, I think here's bottom center. Yeah, that matches up with the player. And then finally, sprite player mask. We use this to control the collision. So like right here, this collision mask, this makes like a little square around. But we're going to change out these sprites, right, depending on what's going on. And so this collision mask might change slightly, and that'll mess it a lot up. So we're just making a sprite that serves as this square right here. And so that would be size 18 by 30. And then we're just going to fill this with light blue. And I think actually, where is that? Yeah, this is set. Just, yeah. That feels small, that little difference, but there's a lot of fine tuning going on when you want that tight collision mechanic. So yeah, let's go ahead and come into our room. We're going to go into backgrounds. Down here, like right below where my head is, you can see something that says no sprite. We're going to click on that, add our BG color. And then again, right under, there's horizontal tile and vertical tile. So when I click on both of those, it tiles throughout the entire room. And that's nice. Yeah, the sprite fits the size and all of that. So let's go ahead and make some objects. I'm going to add another group here called controllers. And inside of here, we're going to add the object controller main, and no sprite for that one. And so, yeah, our size is, what, 320 by 288? So I'll pull it up here so we can see. Yeah, it's really tiny, right? So we kind of want to buff that up. So we're just going to do that with code. We're first going to set randomize to make sure it's random every time. We're going to set this window scale just to make sure it scales uniformly. And then we're going to reset our window size, window set size, room width times window scale, room height times window scale. And the last thing we're going to do is turn off our cursor. You can't see my cursor anyways, but I don't like it bouncing around on the screen when I'm trying to play a game. So we're just going to go ahead and turn that off, especially since the game doesn't use a cursor. And yeah, we're also going to use a controller input. So when I built this out originally, I had controller functionality. You could use a physical controller. And I might include that as an extra, but I don't think I will include it in the base version of whatever we're making here. But it's still good practice, I think. So yeah, we're just initializing here. And yeah, I don't know if initializing them as an integer is the best move, but it seems to work. Keep it from erroring, you know. Okay, we're actually just going to take all of this, copy, paste, select this bottom part, press Control F, and find pressed, and replace it with held. Check that. Okay, cool. All that looks good. Now we can come in, just double check. Okay, so now we can come into our step, and this is where we actually control it, right? So global.left pressed equals keyboard check pressed VK left, right? Global.left pressed will be true if the left key has been pressed. Whoops. And later on, you know, we build this out for controller functionality. But for now, this just helps keep everything clean. left, up, right, down. And for now, we'll make, where we have A pressed equals, A pressed will be space, and B pressed will be shift. Okay, cool. So we're going to take all of this again, paste it, come in here. Well, yeah, let's just get rid of these. Keyboard check. Keyboard check. Same thing down here. Then same thing, select all of these, Control F, changed pressed to held. And there we go, just that easy. And then yeah, this way we can just more easily say, you know, if left's being pressed, left's being hold, we can control that without having to type this keyboard check pressed. So we'll make it a little bit easier. I have a parent solid object, an object that acts as a parent for all of the solids here in my notes, but I don't think I use it, so I'm going to go ahead and skip that for now. If it errors, we'll know where to check. So let's make our floor barrier. And this, we're just going to set image alpha to 0. Well, let's set it to 1 for now so we can see it. Let's see, is moving equals false. And then we also have object player floor. Although I do refer to it as the player's feet later on. Same basic concept. Then yeah, same thing here. Image alpha equals 1. We don't have to bother setting the depth or anything because they're not going to be visible. And yeah, let's go ahead and just make an object. So let's make an object barrier wall. Set it to that. And yeah, that's fine for now. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, we have object border here. So we will create, set a depth because we can't actually see this one. Instances, barrier floor, barrier floor.image xscale equals image xscale, because in this room we might scale this object border, right? Well, come on, got to be in our instances layer. We might scale this. Oh, this is the wrong size actually. Okay, so if we come in here to sprite border, we see it's size 48 by 48. But our grid and everything else is on 32. While that is fine for some cases, since this is like a heavy collision object, let's just go ahead and keep it to the grid. So we're just going to make it 32 by 32. And yeah, we need to redo these a little bit. So yeah, now when we drag it into the room, see it fits our grid, which we're going to make our grid a little smaller eventually. But yeah, when we drag this out, let's see, let's go ahead and test this. Did we not resize? Oh, I don't have, sorry. First, let's put our object controller main in here. And while we're at it, let's add object controller input so we don't forget it. And yeah, once we drag this out, yeah, we can see here that object barrier floor now spans the entirety of it, even though, you know, it's only 32 by 32 because we set the X scales to be the same. And yeah, I think we can just duplicate this. Object ledge and change this out. Right here, sprite ledge. But notice this is 48 by 16, right? So, I mean, easy. One is 32, one is 48. So we just image X scale times 1.5. And now we can drag this into the room. Oh, okay. Well, see how it's off like that? That immediately tells us that the sprite ledge is set to the wrong origin. And then, yeah. So there you go, right? It spans the entire length of it because we make sure the image X scale matches according to the pixel size and all of that. Okay, so yeah, let's just drag out some of this in our room. So let's take this, make it kind of big, Give a nice big floor here. Give us some things to interact with. Yeah, let's try it like that for now. And I think our last big thing is the player. Yeah, okay. So let's get into that. We'll create object player. There we go, sprite boy idle, create. And we're gonna, there's a bunch going on here. So first we have a depth of 5. We have an enum player state. And this will be, we'll be building this out through this entire thing, but for now we have idle is entering, running, jumping, falling. And our player state equals player state dot falling, because we're going to take this and just put it right outside of the room. Let's turn off our grids. And yeah, put him just a little bit above so he falls down. And we just want to make sure that first collision goes through and works correctly and all of that. Because, like, yeah, if I drag this out right now, he's just going to be a little fidgeter. Yeah, just kind of going back and forth. So, yeah, let's go ahead and give that some logic, huh? Player state equals player state dot falling. We have another enum. This controls player direction, so we have none, left, and right. And yeah, so we could set the mask here too, right? This collision mask. We could set to sprite player mask, or we could do it with code. Why not do both? Yeah, we want to store initial X and initial Y because they'll change through levels. We're setting them manually. But when we want to reset, like when the character dies and things like that, and they get a new life, we want them to restart at the beginning of the stage, and this allows us to set them freely. Yeah, we have can move left and can move right. So we have an enum here which controls direction, but also the player can either move left or right depending on if they're touching objects, right? So we're going to limit their ability to move, and it makes a cleaner result. It allows them to like bump into objects and stop, but then move the other way. You can still jump and move left and right and all of that. Yeah, so we have an enum to control like the actual direction and things going on there, and then booleans to control opportunity, let's call it. We have a fall speed. I don't know why I have this note, fall speed. I think this is the initial fall speed because we kind of gain velocity as we go down, and I'll explain that in 1 second. Fall frames equals 0. So yeah, it will fall at a speed 2.3 until it's multiplied by 3, and this will happen in 20 frames. This allows you to change this out however you want, and as I probably explained a little bit in the intro, this is about just trying to make a clean arc and not using GameMaker's actual gravity because it gives us a chance to fine-tune it, and this is how we fine-tune it right here. We store all the variables here in the create, and we can kind of play with them to see what feels good. And yeah, we could do that, using GameMaker's built-in gravity, but at that point, when you're rebuilding everything, why not just start with a clean slate? And it also more closely matches the history of game dev. It's like run before you walk. We're going to learn how we make jumps feel like jumps just using frame animation kind of stuff. Move up every frame. And it's just more hands-on, That's like the fun of GameMaker, is you move on to other engines and a lot of things are kind of just more locked. But this is simple stuff, right? So we keep it simple. And yeah, so jump height, how much it moves up until it reaches the jump counter, 22 frames, at which point you start falling. We have a few float frames, like kind of coyote time, and that just helps give it that arc. Float frames total equals 3. And then yeah, finally, we're going to create our floor, right? Our feet. So feet equals, it's x, y plus 15. That's why we set it to the bottom there, so that we can just match it up with the bottom of the sprite. Instances, object player floor. Okay, yeah, now if we spawn, do I still have them in here? No, I don't. Off to the side there. Okay, well, we'll see it later. Okay, so let's go ahead and start a step. And the first thing we're going to do, just right up top, is this sort of feet correction. We want this to run first. We're just making sure if instance exists feet, feet.x equals x, feet.y equals, what was it? Y plus 13? 15. Okay, cool. And yeah, we have some collision. So the cool part about collision bar feet hitting floor equals, the cool part about collision rectangles is you don't have to include this if instance exists bit. If you don't include this and you're checking for an object, it will error. But collision rectangle already has kind of a built-in check for that, right? Like if it's not touching, then it's not running. Feet.bbox left, feet.bbox top, feet.bbox right, feet.bbox bottom. Yeah, this is object barrier floor 0, 0. Is that right? Just want to double check. Feet, bbox left, top, right, bottom. Okay. Can paste this again. This will be hitting wall, and actually we don't use it until next time, but I have it in here just to keep things clean. There's a part later on that I want to make sure we get in here at this point, so we'll just leave that in here for now. Here are our switch statements. So switch PR, oops. So this okay, yeah, that's it. We're just setting left and right there. And here's the long one. So this is switch player state. First one we have is falling. Right up top, we reset at the beginning of all of our cases. We're going to reset some variables. So yeah, we set our sprite index to sprite boy fall. And yeah, just resetting a lot of these things, right? I'm pretty sure still falling is about the sliding wall thing. So again, we're just going to leave that in there for now. It sounds kind of confusing, is still falling in case falling, but it means like if you're falling off of something and shouldn't be in like a move state. Let's see, if feet, right? If that feet that we created, this feet object player floor thing, if it's hitting object barrier floor, then we move to idle. So y plus equals fall speed. There's a few different things that change fall speed. So we set that after the switch statement so it can keep consistent between like wall slides and that kind of thing. Oh yeah, okay, so we have this too, right? This is in here. This controls your ability to move in the air. So you can, you know, change direction and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, let's just copy this. Take this, paste it there. Else if global dot right held and can move right. PR equals PR dot right. Can move left equals true. X plus equals move speed. Feet dot X plus equals move speed. And so yeah, that controls horizontal movement, and then fall speed controls vertical movement falling. This is our idle state, so it's a lot of resetting and stuff. This controls, yeah, if we've left, and actually maybe this should be more like 10 or something, right? If X is less than 10, then we want the player to go back to entering. Let's leave it for 0 for now. And eventually we're going to move this outside of the statement, which I feel like we should do it now, but we'll leave it because we repeat this in different portions. We also have this in the run case. And later on it's outside, but I have it in my notes here for now, so we'll leave it here for now. But really this should be outside of all of the switch statements, right? If X is ever 0, then we move to player state entering. Equals 0. If can move left and global dot left held. I hope this works. I have it just a little. I have these nested, which makes me think, yeah, maybe we should nest them. So the reason being, we don't even want to check the state of the keyboard until the if can move left is true. And yeah, let's do the same thing here. A lot of times if I do it like this, it's probably because I tested it and this was more consistent. So sometimes not. Sometimes I just don't, make a bad method and don't fix it. But for the most part, can move right, global dot right held. Yeah, and then we don't actually set the PR or anything here. We could, but and here else. Feels like this was all part of an else if statement, but that's fine. If it works. This is case player state dot running. Same thing, we just reset variables up top. And isn't this a little bit of overkill, resetting them all in here? Like every time? And yeah, a little bit, but it just takes up a little bit of room. And it's more about like validation, right? It just makes sure it gets reset. There's less errors to come back on me, basically. And yeah, here's this piece of code again. And this is why here we want to say else if X greater than room width. And this can only happen running. The idle can happen because you fall outside of the frame, which switches you to idle. You're pretty much only running outside. But we are gonna switch. We are gonna move this later on. Yeah, we're just gonna restart the room like that. Really? I just said that whole thing about nesting this, and then down here I don't. So let's just do it that way then. Okay. I see why. Okay. Because this is an else if statement. So yeah, we can take this, copy this, paste it. Switch all our signs around. Can move left equals true. And then yeah, here. Else if no button is being pressed, right move back. And then yeah, we can jump to, right? And should we do it this way? We can, if I don't have like multiple like this, then we can just include it in one line. We could include more stuff here, right? But it's not as readable, not as clean to me. Okay, yeah, finally we have like running off of stuff, right? So what happens if your feet are not hitting floor? Oh, whoops, this is after the break. This needs to be before. If not feet hitting floor, if not hitting wall, right? Because that would be a wall slide. And this just moves them off the wall a little bit. So if PR equals PR left, we're going to knock them back. Oh, I'm sorry. This is actually to push the player a little bit off the ledge if they're falling, is what's going on here, right? If you're not hitting a wall, not hitting the floor, and you're on the left side, I'm just going to kind of push you off of that ledge a little bit. And then here. Same thing. X plus. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so let's almost done here. And yeah, we're just setting up, you know, when you're first entering the room, or when you move too far out of the room, so you come back. And we just turn it off, right? If X is greater than 16. Yeah, and then we just go back, right? If X is greater than 16, then we go back to player state idle. Okay, one more here, I think. And yeah, we changed the image speed to 0. Not wholly necessary because there's only one sprite in there, but feels right. Okay, this is this is a big one here. If jump counter less than jump counter total, jump counter plus plus, y minus equals jump height, that moves up, feet dot y minus equals jump height, obviously. This is else if float frames greater than 0, that's float frames minus minus. Else, once you're out, then you start falling, right? Once you're out of those float frames, then we go into the falling. Then here, we still want to do it inside of this. I have it here too. That makes me think I shouldn't have nested the other one. Well, I mean, I guess if you want to try it either way and let me know what you think about, where is it? This up here being nested instead of this and statement. If global.left held and can move left. And we don't need that. And yeah, we can just take this, copy, paste, well, else if right held and can move right. Just switching all of this. Yeah, then here. Feels weird, don't we? Oh, because the can move is turned off on this one. Okay. So yeah, these two statements are going to look the same. One thing, like I could have included some of this outside and put it like up here. So it goes off like here. But as we see, I'm a bigger fan of just like the chunks, including the chunks, to know that all of this will go. All of this will go. Where are we here? So this is else. Oh, we don't need that. Yeah, I think the last thing is to end here. If A isn't being held, then we start falling. Okay, finally, we're done with this switch statement. Now we're going to deal with the falling. First, we only want these to change. See, like up here, can hit will always be true while the rest of this is playing out. And this is the math that makes the velocity thing work. Yeah, I mean, that's all right. The jump height is 1 divided by the jump counter / jump counter total. So you start off with more momentum that you lose over time. I'll be honest, I'm not great at math. This took a little bit of trial and error, but that's what worked for me. So if player state equals fall frames max plus 1, it looks like. Equals yeah, and just the same thing in reverse, right? When you're falling, you lose more speed the closer you are to the longer you've been falling. There you go, like reaching a terminal velocity. And then here is where we should have this else. And yeah, the jump height, yeah, it looks like jump height here is 1.3. Jump height here is 2.3, so that should probably be 2.3. Probably a typo in my notes. I think we're ready to test and see. So let's go ahead and press enter, see if there's any typos. Okay, we have a dude in the room. Let's see, we can run around, we can jump. He's landing, he's colliding. Okay, there we go, and it's making that nice little arc thing. We can switch mid-air as soon as we stop, so we can make jumps of any size. Let's go ahead and turn this off so we can see it a little better. But yeah, that's looking good. Okay. Not a lot of errors. And yeah, I think that's everything. So yeah, we can see him running in right there. We can run, jump onto things. Okay, cool. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, there's no collision, no wall collision or anything like that. I can just run off the side. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's how I like to make my own gravity in GameMaker. I think it gives a nice clean result that you can really play around with and fine tune. And it's going to work especially well when we get into wall jumping, which we'll do right after this. So yeah, stick around and we'll get this guy some wall collision and we'll build out this 2D platformer. Okay, cool. Welcome back. This is part 2 of making your own 2D platformer in GameMaker. The first thing we dealt with was basic jumping, just kind of, making those nice little arcs, things like that. And in this video, we'll take care of wall collision and just kind of clean up some of the collision that we have going on right now. So let's go ahead and get right into that. We only need one sprite for this one. So yeah, this is sprite wall jump strip 5. We're going to put this into player. And there we go right there. Now, this is backwards the way it is. Like, we see that all of these are facing one way, and then this is facing the other way. That will create some issues since we're going to be switching that all out manually. So let's come in here to edit image, select image, and mirror all frames. And yeah, now they're all facing the same direction. That was super simple, super easy. Okay, yeah, we already made our object barrier wall. So let's come back to object player just really quickly, and in our create, in our create here, we're just going to add one more enum state. This is sliding wall. And yeah, we're just going to make a few more collision objects here. So let's go ahead and just duplicate object barrier floor. And this will be, object barrier floor inner. And then one more time, duplicate to make object barrier seal. And now we can come in here to object border. And like we did before, if we drag this in, let me turn on some of these. We're just going to change all these image alphas to 1 so we can just kind of better see what's going on. 1, 1, 1. And yeah, we don't have anything here, so that's fine. And yeah, we'll see. So this is our border, and we have this along the top, right? So we can jump onto it, but we can also jump through it. And that's not really going to work for us. We're going to need collision on all sides. Okay, yeah, actually first, let's come into Object Barrier Wall. And in our create, let's set image alpha to a 1 so we can see it. And we'll set side to 0. So we have two different sides, left and right, obviously. And whichever side the player is hitting will control which side they bounce off of, that kind of thing. So yeah, let's come in here to a step event. And just right off the top, if instance exists, object player. If object player dot player state equals idle. So if object player is running or idle and it runs into the wall, then we want it to stop, right? And we're just going to hard set this to make sure that if it runs into a wall, we reset that to idle. So if side equals 0, meaning if it's the left side, we bump it a little bit, push it back. And we just stop them from moving, right? Stop them from moving into that object. And same thing, we can copy this. Oh, you know what? Actually, I missed something. So here, yeah, I think right here. So how do I want to expand this? Take that. Let me just bring it in a little bit. bbox top plus 4 brings it down. Everything inside of there. If side equals 0, this closes this. This closes that. This closes this. Okay, cool. Awesome. So yeah, we just need to take this side, duplicate it like we've been doing for all of them. If side equals 1, plus equals 2, can move, left equals false. And then, yeah, so this is a little finicky, but this is the idea, right? We move this bbox top down a little bit so that if they hit that top, we want them to go into the slide. So that's why we're going to redo all of this. And yeah, like, we could have shrunk this down a little bit, but we wouldn't have been able to fine-tune it as much. And this comes from fine-tuning, right? If you're hitting towards that top, you don't want to go back to idle. You want to make sure that you wall slide. So we're still in if instance exists object player, and now we're just changing it. So if player state is jumping or falling. And same thing here. And yeah, we set like the collision rectangles we do in object player. Like I'm going to want to put them up top every time. Well, yeah, like up here. It just makes it easier to, it's a variable. It's a lot shorter of a thing to do. But here, like because we want to do this fine tuning, it makes more sense to kind of type it out. What is this? Object player 0, 0. Collision rectangle. This is just pushing it back, right? Like if you're inside of this object, just move it back. And see, here we're like resetting it. This is why we want that wall jump to be facing the same direction as the others. Whoops. Oh boy, okay, so yeah, this whole thing. Else, if side 1, and then yeah, just switching everything like we've been doing, right? Can move left equals false, PR right, and all that stays the same. Okay, cool. And yeah, again, we could have put this like down here or something like that, but I just want to make sure it runs in that chunk. So yeah, let's come back to object border and start building out some more of this. So here, okay, we want to bring it in a little bit because otherwise we get coyote time like really badly. Let me show you. So we can stand like almost entirely off of it, like because it's looking for those boxes and whether or not they're touching. We need to bring it in a bit, right? And since this is set to image X scale and they're both 32 by 32, we just have to like manipulate that around a bit. So we take image times X scale and multiply it by yeah, and this just gives us a bit of math. So let's look at it now. Oh wow, it's still well, it's going across the entire thing for ledges, right? But you see for this border, the thing that we're working on, it's kind of off to the side a bit. And that's just because we need to come back and increase this by 4. We did sprite width -8, so that's -8 on both sides. And there we go, now it's centered, right? So if we come here, we can just kind of fall off. It seems a little bit cleaner to where, you know, the player would actually fall off if they were standing on it. And yeah, we just got to build out the others now, so we can copy this whole thing. Barrier floor inner. And then same thing for the seal. But these need to be moved around, right? Barrier floor inner is the exact same place as barrier floor. We want that to be inset a little bit to check if the player's kind of tunneling through that barrier. This will help reset it. And then yeah, here's y plus sprite height -4. So that just brings it to the very bottom. Yeah, I think all of that stays the same. So now we have our barrier left wall. Yeah, okay, let's actually take this, copy it, barrier left wall dot image y scale equals image y scale sprite height image y scale. Then we can copy this whole thing, right, and let's see. Oh, it's going to be, oh, whoops, I messed this up. This is x plus 2. Barrier left wall is x plus 2. Barrier right wall is x plus sprite width -4. Okay, cool. Yeah, and then Yeah, just at that side, right? Okay. So I think, yeah, okay. See, those are off. I'm going to go out on a limb and say, yeah, this is set to middle center, needs to be top left. It's usually what the issue is. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So yeah, we can see that it makes a little square around. We don't really have, yeah, there we go. See, we're stuck because we're going into that sliding wall state, but we don't have that in here. Yeah, let's finish off these. So we're going back to object player, the step, and let's finish off some of these. We have hitting wall. First, let's do var feet hitting floor. We're going to copy this, paste it to make var feet through floor. And this is object barrier floor inner will be the check for that. We have hitting wall and actually, yeah, let's just copy and paste this. And var hitting seal. And that will check for a collision between all that kind of stuff. So yeah, here in our case, we just need to add, I'm pretty sure, setting our wall jump, which we made, reset some stuff up top. We're resetting these that if you jump, you can jump in between. We're resetting these so you can jump in between, you know, wall jump. If feet hitting floor. Else if hitting wall. Else if not hitting wall, then you've like dropped off of the wall and just move straight down, right? Okay. Then down here. So this is the wall jump, right? If global.a press, then we're going to jump off the wall. Obviously, what I mean by that is we're going to juice it a bit, so we're going to just give them some distance right away. This helps make sure that they're pushed off far enough that it doesn't re-trigger the wall slide, and also gives it like a little bit more oomph. Dot jumping. Okay, cool. And just copy and paste this whole thing, right? Yep. And just the opposite. Doesn't really need to be an if. Y will always decrease. This time feet decrease. Can move. Right equals true. And yeah, now we just need to clean up some stuff down here. So and here, else if player state, or then yeah, down here, I think right after here, if feet hitting floor, if feet Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and test that. So we have our little character here. We can run. Yeah, see, oh yeah. Looks like some failed collision right there. But yeah, other than that, we have our nice little wall jumps. Yeah, we can run, we can jump off. Okay, so what is that? We don't have... Okay, let's go back and see. Yeah, I don't know where it was. Let's just put it here. If... Yeah, I don't know. That'll end our jump, right? If hitting seal, just make it fall. Yeah, we should probably redo this level too. So, where's our room 1? Okay, let's take this down. Well, let's turn our grids back on. Let's take this down. Copy, paste it. Whoops. Okay. It's probably just going to be easier to... Okay, yeah, just kind of trying to make some stuff go on here. And yeah, this should give us some stuff to do. Okay, yeah, let's do that for a level. So yeah, we're going to leave all of these on just to double check the interactions so we can slide off, hit that, and we can wall jump to make it back up. There we go. And yeah, okay, so it all looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and turn these off. Yeah, I'm just turning all the image alphas to 0. Okay, cool. So now I can really see, what it's going to look like. So yeah, we can slide, we can jump off, we can get ourselves up, we can jump in, we can jump across. Okay, this is looking pretty good. That's wall jumps. Okay, cool. Yeah, we have wall jumps, we have gravity, so it looks like the next step is going to be hit points. So this is going to be a little bit of a longer one, and we're going to have to rewrite some of the code that we already made. So if you're struggling or missed something, just make sure to check out the GitHub. I will try to keep that as up to date as possible. And yeah, so far we have gravity that we made ourselves. A little bit of an arc jump there. We have wall jumping, so we can wall jump back and forth. That's nice. But what we need now is something for the player to interact with, something that the player can hurt, and something that the player can hurt, and something that can hurt the player. Okay, cool. So yeah, let's start off with let's just go ahead and make a new group here called enemies in our sprites, and we're gonna do that in our objects too. So make a new group. So make a new group called enemies in here, and we're going to have another one that's just in both here, traps. And we do have some sprites that we're going to use from the asset kit for this. So we have this sprite spikes strip 7. We'll drag that into, whoops, not enemies, into traps. And we also have this TV head, but we're only going to use a few for now. So let's go ahead and drag in, well, actually, let's make another group here, create group, TV head, and we're going to drag in idle and hit. Cool. Yep, that's perfect. And yeah, and here in this should be in traps. What's going on? Player goes to enemies. Traps has sprite spikes. Okay, cool. Here in sprites, we do need to bring the image down a little bit in size. It's way too big for how small these sprites actually are. So let's click on this resize. We're going to go to resize canvas and just click this bottom one so it cuts off this top area here. And we're going to resize it to 16 by 16. And if we apply that, we'll see it keeps the entire sprite in line. And since it's 16 by 16, let's go ahead and change our grids to 16 by 16. Now we can just place it wherever we want in the room. Let's go ahead and make sure it's top left or some corner, you know, so that we can drag it and it'll fit and all of that. And yeah, we'll leave this for now. We'll come back to it. For now, let's come to our object controller main, and we're just going to make a few more. Well, we're going to make some globals here. So let's call this top level, and then here globals. Yeah, we use this global.hit grace. That's the invincibility frames after being hit, or when you're dying, things like that. And yeah, we have an HP and an HP max, because you can lose HP obviously, but reset to the max. And yeah, we do need to change some stuff in this object player because we have a bunch more of these now. So we have attacked, hit, and dying. And then yeah, we have some variables here too. I'm just going to include these at the end before the floor collision, before we initialize create objects. So we have a ricochet if you're bouncing off of something after hitting it. Can't hit. I feel like we used that already, but there it is. Hit loops equals 3. And then, yeah, grace period before the player can get hurt again. Hit grace timer. Hit grace total equals 60. Yeah, okay. And yeah, we do a timer and a total just so we can reset it. Ideally, this should be hit grace timer equals hit grace total, but we're resetting them both. If we have to change one, we can change them both. It's not that much harder. Okay, so let's see. Now we have to clean up this step a lot. Oh boy. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's come into our step. Just come right up to the top here. Okay, yeah, so just right up here at top, we're going to set if global.hitGrace. So yeah, we put image alpha equals 1 here just to make sure it resets. We'll set image alpha if they've been hit to something less, but we don't always want it to be reset. Like otherwise we would put it here. So we just want image alpha to be set during one specific part, but it will always reset here. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, there's just a few things we want to control here. Okay, like when we're ricocheting, when we're bouncing off of something after hitting it, we want to limit movement so that the ricochet has to be completed. This makes the game a little bit harder, and it fits like the game that I'm specifically making. You might want your player to be able to move after hitting something, so you would just change this. X minus equals move speed. Yeah, and here, so we could have made this an else if, or we can just do this, right? It kind of does that. And then here, yeah, we just want to reset. So here in idle, after float frames, we'll set hit loops, ricochet equals false because we're idle now. And then, yeah, I think we move on to jumping here. And you can check the GitHub for all of this if it's not clear. So yeah, here in jumping, let's just right off the bat. Yeah, I see. Okay, so we don't have it here, right? Yeah, okay, so I forgot. We need to import one of these sprites. We have to drag into player here, sprite boy double jump. And that's our little rolling animation. So yeah, what we're changing here is if ricochet sprite index equals sprite boy double jump, image speed equals 0.8, else this stuff, right? Cool. And then yeah, we just restrict some of the movement again, so or ricochet to make sure this goes through. And then here those two. And yeah, now we get to add all of our cases, right? So after this case sliding wall, we have case player state.attacked. If PR equals PR.left, still falling equals true. And this is what we bounce off, right? Oh. And yeah, we just switch it as we've been doing. Still falling equals true, PR equals PR left, X minus equals 4, all that's good. Yeah, and that's it. Okay, so move on to case player state dot hit. Sprite index equals sprite boy hit. Y minus equals 0.05. And then we just have like a little bit of a hit animation. Yeah, you've seen this animation stuff a million times. We're controlling, instead of letting the image speed go, we're just controlling it manually. Yeah, and then once the frames have gone through, then we remove one from the hit loops, reset the frames, let it go again. Else, if global.hp greater than 0, this is where we set image alpha equals 0.75. We give ourselves a hit gray so we can't be hit again right away. We take away from the HP and then just reset it to be falling. And we might do some other stuff for dying, but right now I kind of just want to restart the room. Room restart, bam, just like that. And then yeah, we just need to clean up some stuff here at the bottom. Okay, yeah, actually I guess that's it for this. Let's go ahead and make our spikes. So, oh yeah, we don't have one, right? So in here, create object spikes, and this will be sprite spikes. So now we can see, we come in here, we can drag these in and they line up, right? So that's nice. And yeah, if we play right now, they're just going to loop through their animation, which actually looks kind of fun. Oh man, maybe I should have just left it like that, but okay. So yeah, we have a quick enum. Oh, I'm sorry. These are still spikes, object spikes still. So these don't move. Okay, for our step, we're going to do a collision rectangle for object player. Yeah, if it's collision, then player state equals player state dot hit, right? Actually, let's go ahead and test that now and see what happens. This is a typo. Okay, so I'm just kind of curious to see what happens if we... Yeah. Oh, okay. Looks like we need another sprite in here. We're going to drag sprite boy hit. There we go. And I'll make sure to show this at the beginning of the video, what we'll need and all of that. Okay, so let's see. Come in here. Great. Okay, cool. Yeah, it looks like there's some issue with the hit grace, but let's go ahead and move on and we'll come back to that. Or let's see. Oh, you know what? I see this right here needs to say... See, that's why it's a good idea to test, right? So if we want to make sure whenever we do collision that it's only if the hit grace is off. So there we go. Yeah, that's right. That's better. Yeah, line 16. So let's fix that right now. Hit grace total is what it's actually called. Hit grace total. Okay. And then yeah, so let's just duplicate this. Object spikes moving. So I duplicated object spikes still to object spikes moving. Image index equals 0. Image speed equals 0. Here we have an enum. Still rising, falling, and raised. And we separate all those by a comma, right? And we can say spike state equals spike state dot still. And then yeah, we also have a timer. Rise fall timer equals 12. Rise fall timer total equals 12. Up timer equals 15. That's as long as it stays up for. Up timer total equals 15. Okay, yeah. Then just time for a quick step, right? Let's move this. Let's just turn this into a statement. So var hitting player equals this collision rectangle. That should, I don't have it that way in my notes, but that should clean it up a bit. Next we have our switch statement. Let's get our spike. The still is pretty much the same. Image index equals 0. Rise fall timer equals 0. If hitting player spike state equals spike state dot rising. Come on. And then yeah, as always, reset up top. Oh. And yeah, we're just controlling. We're controlling the frames manually, right? Using a counter and then just dividing it by 4 since it's the counter's 4 times the amount of frames in that sprite sheet. Okay. Come on. Spike state equals spike state dot raised. Okay, let's see. So the next thing we have is this case spike state dot raised. Reset this. If hitting player and global.hit grace once they're up. Oh, what is this? Okay. Object player dot player state equals player state dot hit. If uptimer greater than 0. Spike state equals spike state dot falling. Come on, rise timer. Rise fall timer greater than 0. Else, go back to being still, right? You've moved up, you've been up for a while, you've gone down. Now you're back to being still. Do we reset rise fall timer? Yeah, okay. So we should be able to test this now. Let's move these down here. That feels more fun. Then we move object spikes moving up here. Yeah, let's kind of build this out a bit. Okay, let's test. So yeah, ideally we should be able to jump and jump again and not get hit. Ooh, I see typo. Always typos. Okay, let's see. Ricochet. So yeah, let's see. Can jump. Let's make sure we can get hit. Yep, we can get hit. We can jump. Oh, nope. We can jump past them if we're quick. Whoop. Maybe just not quick enough. I'm scared of it. Okay. Well, yeah, we can always modify it later, but I found that to be fair before, so we'll leave it for now. Okay, let's finish this off by making an enemy we can interact with. So we'll come in here, create object. This will be object TV head, and the sprite will be TV head idle. And the create, we just have depth equals 6. Image index equals irandom 10. So when we have multiple, they don't all start off on the same. And then yeah, let's just do it this way. Well, let's just copy and paste this. Whoa. I'm just going to copy and paste this var hitting player. And it's just, it looks better. We don't have a TV head state in here, so we'll leave that off for now. Let's do this. We'll just destroy it. Next, we have one of these statements. I think it's called a ternary. Object player.pr equals x less than object player.x, and then what is it? pr.left, pr.right. So this is a statement, right? This is basically an if statement. X is less than object player.x. So it's saying object player.pr. If this is true, will be pr.left. If this is false, will be pr.right. So that just changes, the if the X of the enemy is, oh man. Okay. So if it's hit less than the middle, then it will bounce off in the same direction it came. If it's more, then it'll bounce off in the opposite direction. That's what that's saying. Okay. Oh, and here. Okay. Yeah, I think that should be ready. Let's go ahead and test it. So we just need to make sure this guy's touching the ground. Bring it in a little bit. Yeah, he's moving really fast, but should be able to take care of that later. So this will hurt us. Oh no. Gotta be the right height for this. Hey, okay, cool. Yeah, it worked. We ricocheted off. Kind of hard to see because of all the stuff going on. Let's maybe take these out for now. Just put this guy right here. Yeah. Okay, that's bad. That's really bad. I see. Okay, I had a typo here. This is object border. This barrier seal should be barrier seal. So that's a whoops. There we go. See, yeah, now if I bounce off, yeah, we hit the ceiling there. Okay, yikes. So I'll make sure to point that out as we go through. Okay, let's move some stuff out of this room. Maybe move this over here. Move these guys like this. You know what? Actually, let's just take this one out for now. Where is this? Yeah, just hide that. What I really want to do is hit both of them. So let's see. Okay, one more time. If we hit on this side, yeah, we bounce that way. There we go. Okay, awesome, cool. Now we have enemies and traps and all that stuff. We are well on our way here. Next, let's finish off these enemies. Let's get that TV head walking around, and let's make a cannon enemy and that kind of stuff. So yeah, we'll do all that next time. Okay, here we go. Welcome back to making your own 2D platformer in GameMaker. So far we have jumping, we have wall sliding, we can hit spikes and that hurts us and makes us invincible for a minute, and we can hurt and hit an enemy, right? So let's go ahead and well, looks like both of those things happened. So let's come back. Just really quickly, let's fix this in object TV head if hitting player and not global.hitGrace. That should take care of that. And this object player.y, that's to make sure that it's not hitting from too low. But I think we need to increase that, bring that down a little bit. The Y of the TV head is a little bit higher than the body. So let's try that. Let's see if we can hit, and yeah, perfect. Okay, cool. So yeah, we have hit, we have hurt, all of that's working. Let's get into making these enemies a little bit more dynamic. So yeah, we'll stay here in this object TV head and just build this out right away with an enum. We have idle, running, and dying. We have our TV head state equals TV head state dot idle. This will return floor of the random range 100 to 300, so it'll come up somewhere in between that. Something above 100 and less than 300. And here the run counter is 100 and 500. Is moving left equals choose true or false. Move speed equals 1. Image X scale equals choose 1, -1. So that just controls which direction they're facing when they start, and they'll run in whatever direction they choose. 14 dying loops equals 3. Okay, so now we have this step event. We have this hitting player, but we also need var hitting wall, which is pretty much the same thing. except this is object barrier wall, and I think we have hitting floor too. I think. So let's go ahead and make that. And I don't know, let's just save that the way it is for now. Sprite index equals sprite TV head idle. Oh, that's right. We do have some more sprites here. So let's see. So for this TV head, we need to include, yeah, we have a run here. Sprite TV head run. Yeah, and I think that's it. We'll go ahead and add a new enemy type here. So we have player should not be in enemies. There we go. Yeah, enemies TV head. We're going to make another one here. Create group. This will be cannon. And I think this just needs attack and idle. I guess it needs hit too, doesn't it? And then we have one more in traps here. We have sprite spikes. We're going to drag in sprite cannonball. And I'm pretty sure that's all the sprites we'll need for this. We'll come back if need be. So yeah, back into object TV head. We have the sprite index. Oh yeah. This should be case TV head dot idle. I think is TV head state dot idle. Yeah, here we have and then we have just more counter kind of stuff. If idle counter is greater than 0, idle counter minus minus, else reset the floor. Then we start running, right? If the idle counter is done, then we're done being idle. Okay, so for this, let's go ahead and set this sprite to our running. And the image speed as well. We'll set up some left and right movement. And we're just flipping the X scale. We don't have anything controlling its direction, like another enum this time. Oh, in here. Else image X scale equals 1. X plus equals move speed. Then yeah, if is hitting wall, if is moving left, then increase the speed, right? X plus equals move speed times 2. I just did that so I can mess around with it. Yeah, let's see, this is move. If is moving left equals false. Right? If it hits a wall, we want it to go back the other direction. Oh yeah, so the move speed times 2, it just bumps them in the other direction, right? It tries to keep the collision interaction from going off multiple times. If, oh, I see. Okay. So this is, I see why I didn't do a floor. This took a fair bit of fine tuning, I see. Instead of using B-box, we're drawing our own square, our own collision rectangle, using the X and Y values since it's in the middle. We might put that in later, I'm not sure, but let's leave it in now. We have the isMoving variable in there, so... The same thing here. We're just like pushing it, bumping it the other way, right? And then, yeah, after all of this, now we do our regular timer stuff. Run counter minus minus. Else if is moving left. This is weird to me. Normally, I would think it would be something like this. Is moving left equals is moving left. So it just like sets it to the opposite. I must have done that and it didn't work or something. So we'll just do that. I mean, that's the long way of doing it, but we know that that'll work, so... Oh. Okay. And then finally we just have the little bit of dying stuff. Let's see here. Less than dying frames total, and we wrote all of this before in the player, so I could have copied and pasted it, but I want this to be clean because I will be copying and pasting this part. Image index equals floor, dying frames divided by 2, and then yeah, else dying loops minus minus. If where is this? Yes, okay. Dying loops minus minus. Dying frames equals 0. And then here, get rid of it, right? And then yeah, I'm pretty sure all this stuff can stay. We just changed this. Let's see. And TV head states not equal TV head state dot dying, right? We don't want this to go off. This is the collision with the player. It's if they've been hit or not. And here, instead of putting this here, this instance destroy, TV head state equals TV head state dot dying. I think that's it. Let's go ahead and test it and see. So yeah. Oh, okay. If TV is hitting wall not set before reading it, this is line 49 on TV head. Just a typo here. Say line if hitting wall. Probably could have been more consistent with how I named that. Okay, let's see. Oh, it's moving. It's just backwards, right? Here. Let's see. There we go. Okay, yeah, running back and forth and running on that thing, right? It's stuck to it. It's not coming off. So if I come in here, I feel like we should make a new room eventually, but for now, I'm sure this is fine. We're going to bring this down. Okay, yeah, let's try that. So now we have a wall that it can run into too, so we can test all of that. There we go. Yep, hits the wall and comes back. Okay. Yep. Looks like I can't make that jump. Looks like that's all working pretty good. Pretty well. Let's test it one more time. Runs. Well, that was on me. Yeah, we can hit and it goes away. Okay, cool, perfect, awesome. That looks great. We're ready to move on. We're gonna do that farmer in the Dell thing. So we're gonna start. Let's delete this out. We don't have that right. We're gonna make a new trap. Create object. Object enemy cannonball. I guess it could just be object cannonball. The sprite will be in traps. This sprite cannonball. And then here, I don't know why I set moving left and moving right. Just to be a little bit more direct with it, I guess. I think I wanted to pass something off no matter what. Using the container object, using the cannon, the enemy. So here in step, and I'm not going to bother with that, making this into a variable, because I'm only doing this in this one spot here. Bbox bottom, object player 0, 0, and global dot hit grace. Object player dot player state equals player state dot hit, and instance destroy. We want to destroy the cannon if it's hit the player, right? And then finally, let's get it out of here. If x less than -50 or x greater than room width plus 50, instance destroy, right? So it doesn't clog up our memory. Let's go ahead and make our cannon dude. So come in here, create a new object in enemies. We'll set the sprite to enemies cannon. This is idle. No, it's attack. Set it to sprite cannon idle there. Then in this create, we'll set the depth to 7. We have another enum here. I have a null in here. Null, idle, firing, dying. Okay. And a lot of the same stuff going on here. Shooting timer equals 0. Shooting timer total equals 35. Shoot delay equals 50. Shoot delay total equals 50. Yeah, we're just initializing our timers, right? Speaking of, idle timer equals 300. Idle timer total equals 300. This is what you would change if you wanted to shoot faster, by the way. We have all these again. Which should allow us to just copy and paste that bit, which would be nice. Is facing left equals true. X push equals -1. X push controls, just gives a little bit of a push to the ball. And we set that as no one because we're going to pick it up later. And image speed is 0.3. So here in the step, if instance exists, object player, if object player dot x less than x, image x scale equals 1. So this will turn it to face the player, basically. Now we have our switch statement. Our first one here will be firing, and like we did before, we're just going to control this using frames. We're going to reset some stuff up top, set our sprite index. Redo our image index. Shooting timer plus plus. Image index equals floor. Shooting timer divided by 5, right? It's 35, so there must be 7 frames in there. It's split up. Else, if is facing left, ball equals instance create layer x minus 16 y plus 7, so that puts it up by the mouth. Instances object cannon ball dot moving left equals true. Cannon state equals, then we move it back to idle, right? It's shot, it's time to move back to idle. Else, yeah, we can just copy this. Copy that, put it here. It's like a typo there. Instance create layer, instances moving right equals true, and then we just cancel it out, right? And that's why, like, if I put this down here, it might create a situation where this doesn't run correctly before it moves on to the next state. So that's why I do this down the line kind of chunk coding is the idea. And yeah, okay, so let's move on. Case can state dot idle. If idle timer greater than 0, idle timer minus minus, else, then we reset the cannon state, right? Yep, perfect. The last. Cannon state equals cannon state dot dying. Oh, we never named this. Object cannon. Okay. I'm pretty sure we can just copy and paste this. Where is this? If dying. Yeah, we're just going to take this whole thing here. Copy that. Paste it in here. I think it'll work. Sprite. Cannon hit. And then, yeah, actually. Yeah, I think we're going to take the same thing. Let's just take all of this. Take it. Put this at the top here, like right above the switch. We want that var there. And cannon state does not equal cannon state dot dying. Cannon state. Just changing all these out. Yep. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and test it, right? We'll put a cannon guy right behind here, so it's like he's shooting over at us, and then one down here too. Okay. Let's test it out and see what we have. So yeah, they should not shoot for a little while. Okay, what is this? If is moving right, can moving left and moving right. I did it again. That's the problem when you mix naming conventions, right? Okay, so yeah, just testing this here. Let's see. Yeah, we can run, we can slide. They're shooting pretty well. Let's make sure we can get hurt by them. And yeah, they're shooting at the same time because we have that same timer going off, right? And yeah, there was like a little bit of a backwards shot there, but that's because we were moving Like, once the cannon's made, we don't want it to kind of track the player, right? Okay, it's looking good. It's a little chunky right now, which makes me think that these aren't being deleted out correctly. Okay, let's see. Okay, cool. Yeah, it looks like they're being destroyed correctly and all of that, so. And yeah, we can get hit. We can hopefully, come on, hit them. Okay, cool. Yeah, all this is looking pretty correct. Jump over it. Okay, awesome. Yeah, now we have enemy types. Let's move on to getting some dodging in, you know, a little bit more interactivity. So we'll be doing dodging next time. Okay, here we go. Welcome back to making your own 2D platformer in GameMaker. So far we have jumping, we have wall slides, we have hitting traps, we have enemies that attack and run around on their own and shoot little projectiles, and we can be hurt by them. And normally we could hit them if we could get there. There we go. And we can hit them. Okay, perfect. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So yeah, we're going to be doing dodging today, which is pretty fun. Will be pretty simple. The only hard part about it to me is that the asset kit has the sprites for these boxes kind of split up. So we have these like, let's see, where are they? There we go. So we have these like hit animations. Let's go ahead and put these. Let's make a new group. Call this room decor. And then in here, I'm going to drag in both of these sprites. So we can see these are just like the hit animations for these, and the actual like idols are kept somewhere else. So we're just going to come here. I named this sprite box 1. We're just going to make sure we line these up. So idle goes in the first spot. Well, let's drag this to make sure it's the first spot. And then we have like, yeah, that looks a little better. Oh no, wrong one. Okay. Delete that out. Sprite box 1 here. This is where that first one is. And then we have sprite box 2, and they are different, so this is important. There we go. And yeah, that breaks like that. And then last we have the break bit. So let's see. Let's drag this in. This will go to the end there. And yeah, perfect. Same thing. Got to do it here. Okay, cool. Yep. That's the animation we need for that. So I'll try to explain that out further in the beginning and on GitHub and all of that. So yeah, let's do the same thing. Create a new group for room decor. And here we'll create an object. This is object box. The sprite we'll have for now sprite box. And in the create here, we'll have depth equals 8, image speed equals 0, sprite index equals choose, and just pick one randomly, right? Sprite box 1 or sprite box 2. Animation done equals false. Animation timer equals 20. Intact equals true. And decay equals false. Now we'll get into what the animation actually shows right here. Let's go in here to a step. And right off the bat, if not intact, we'll deal with breaking it up. So this is image speed equals 0.25. If no animation done, if animation timer greater than 0, animation timer minus minus, else animation done equals true. So then here, come on, right there, put another else right here. Image index equals 4. That's the last one. Decay equals true. And do we have... Huh, that's interesting. I thought we would have turned off the image speed at some point, but we'll see. If decay And this is like it going away slowly. It made a nice animation. If image alpha greater than 0, image alpha minus equals 0.5, 0.05. 0.5 would be pretty quick. Be like 2 frames, right? Else instance destroy. Yeah, we're actually going to, let's see, here, and we can maybe put an else statement right there, but let's just, up at the top, we're going to do our little collision rectangle function to a variable. Okay, yeah, and here I had it somewhere else in my notes, but I think we can just do it this way. I think this will be cleaner. Else, so this is if not intact, right? If hitting player, if object player dot player state equals player state dot rolling. Oh, we haven't added that yet, have we? Okay, let's just, yeah, really quickly come in here to object player and just add this right here. Yeah, just add another enum state to that. Then we can come back to object box. That should no longer error. Perfect. So if object player equals player state rolling, intact equals false. Okay, now we got to do the rolling thing. So yeah, we already added this enum state right here. We just need a few variables here at the bottom for it. Roll time equals 20. That's, you know, how long the roll lasts. And yeah, we just have to change some stuff in here. So let's come into our step. I think the first thing is just right off the bat here, up at the top. Where is this? Yeah. Roll time equals roll time total. Then we're going to put that again under running. Roll time. Roll timer? Which one? Which one did I call it? Roll time equals roll time total. It's not quite a timer, right? It's how long it lasts. And then, yeah, here we can actually put in the functionality for it too. We have this if global.a pressed, right? I'm sorry, I actually messed this up. Let's see. Roll time total should be under idle, right? Because that's where we default to. We don't ever default to running, I don't think. So we don't quite need to reset it there. But here we do need to do like, yeah, we'll just set that up right there. So if global.b pressed, player state equals rolling. And I think that's it, right? You can only roll when you're running. So let's go ahead and put in that case. Yeah, we'll do it here before sliding wall. First, let's set our sprite index equals sprite boy double jump. If roll time greater than 0. We all know this, but first global dot hit grace equals true. I'm going to turn that on. If PR equals PR dot left, x minus equals move speed, and roll time minus minus, else if, no, not else, just if PR equals PR dot right, opposite, x plus equals move speed. And again, I like running this right below it so it doesn't, you know, get caught up in any kind of statement nonsense. Then here we can just if hitting floor, then it's idle. Else player state equals player state dot falling. Is that it? I mean, let's test that. There's our roll. That roll feels Wrong. Okay, yeah, we can roll through stuff. It feels kind of short. Yeah, okay, I think we just got to do this. Is this x minus equals move speed +1, +1. Let's see if that feels better. Yeah, that feels much better. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's a nice clean. Let's see if I can clear this gap. Oh yeah, almost. That's perfect. That's great. Yep. That's exactly what we're looking for. So yeah, we can roll. We can dodge, but we can't roll when we're anywhere else. We also get like a nice little spin off of stuff. I like that. So yeah, I think that's good. Yeah. Oh yeah, we forgot the boxes. Okay. So let's see. We have object box here. Let's just put them in the room here. So we'll have one here. Have a couple down here. Yeah, depth-wise, we should be able to do this. So let's see. So we roll. It breaks the box. There's like an animation to it, so that's nice. I don't know if I like all that rolling, but let's see. Okay, so roll. So if I come here, it's fine. I'm pretty sure what's causing that is if I came in here, object player sliding wall, ricochet equals false. So now, bouncing. Yeah, see, you don't get that like midair roll anymore. So yeah, that's pretty good. This is also a good example of what it looks like when you want to add functionality down the line. I started off knowing that I would add a dodge, but you know, if I didn't, it would involve going back, making a new enum case, and then kind of just making sure the logic fit up here when we reset stuff, making sure we reset what we need to, making sure, you know, we turn on the functionality where we want it. So a few things to fix before we get into it. Here in global state dying, we need to do more here. Global dot hit grace equals true. Also, it looks like all that's fine. This is the problem right there. Okay, there we go. There was a typo right there. Global dot hit grace. Okay, so yeah, some typos throughout. A quick reminder: if you are lost or you're making typos like I am, the GitHub has all the code on it. It's literally what I'm using. I have it open right now. It's my notes that I use for this. So yeah, I just wanted to double check. Okay, yeah, no, all of this looks pretty good. Yeah, I can't slide obviously past that enemy because then I would be sliding into the wall and I'll hit him. So yeah, double check that too. Oh, so where is that object? Roll. Yeah, in here we still need some sort of like hitting wall thing, right? So this was an object barrier wall. We just want to come back here and change, where is it? Here. We want to say or object player dot player state equals player state dot rolling. Okay, so that should keep us from rolling through walls. Let's just double check that. And okay, hold on. Okay, yeah, we stop. We get stuck kind of by the wall. Not the cleanest thing. So yeah, so we'll add that there and then probably here too. Object player equals player state dot idle. Let's just try that. Just want to make that a little bit more clean. There we go. Okay, so we slide, we hit the wall, and we stop. That looks much, much better. And then we still run into the wall and stop. Okay, perfect. Okay, cool. So with that, yeah, we're ready to move on to the next part. What are we doing? Oh, building out levels. That's fun. Hey everyone, welcome back. Our 2D platformer is coming along pretty nicely. I mean, we've got jumps, we've got wall slides, we've got trap items. We can jump, we can hit, we can be hit, all of that fun stuff. Oh yeah, and we can dodge. So cool, with all of that, I think it's time to start building out some of these levels. So this one, like the last one, it's going to be pretty chill, pretty easy. We already have this sprite blocks master, so we're going to be doing a bit with this right now. Let's go ahead and do that first. Yeah, we're going to duplicate this and make sprite squares gray. Then we're going to do the same thing we did last time. We're going to go to edit image, image, convert to frames. And what is this? This is going to be 48 by 48. And the offset is 0 and 64, so we can get this little box right here. And while we're here, let's double click back into this. We're going to turn on 9 slice. We're going to activate that. Just make sure we get this right. This is going to be at all the 16s. So it just separates them right down the middle like that. And then we're going to do that again. So duplicate sprite blocks master. This time we're going to make sprite squares brown. So let's come in there, edit image, image convert to frames. And this is all in the GitHub. Again, if I'm not clear on this or anything. So 96 and 128, that brings these boxes right here. You can tell because it's that white square outlining it. We click OK, come back here. Oh yeah, we'll probably make these top left, both of these. Then yeah, come back here and turn on 9 slice, activate 9 slice, drag these in. Just right to the middle there. Okay. And finally, we have, let's duplicate this and make sprite green box. Now we're just going to come in here, again, edit image, image, convert to frames. And I think the size is 32, 32, 208, and 80. Okay, so we click convert. And now we have this nice little green box here. So yeah, let's just go ahead and here in room decor, we're going to create an object. This will be the object squares gray, and it's here in room decor. Oh no, where did I put those? Oh, they're here in blocks. Okay. See, I want to move these into room decor. Well, maybe that stays in blocks, the green box. And yeah, okay. That's just a little bit of cleaning up. Okay, so this is sprite squares gray. Depth equals 9. Image speed equals 0. So depth, image speed, image index, that all looks good. We can just go ahead and duplicate this. We already duplicated this? No, okay. So object squares gray. Duplicate that to make object squares brown. And change that out. Okay, cool. So yeah, now that we're in here, we can do is just kind of use these to, decorate a little bit. So come in, drag this here. We can drag, So, I mean, the way that I did this was I just dragged them in like this to make the different ones. But if we want, we just come in here to sprite squares brown. Take this middle one and change it from stretch to repeat. I think we have to do that for these two. Repeat, repeat. Am I missing any? Okay. So that would be the way to drag these out, make them any size you want. I think this is just easier. I'm just going to do it this way. Just going to drag a few, kind of put them like this. Yeah, like that, And probably one of these up here. Let's do another one, bring it down like that. And yeah, we could push these to the back. not that far back. We want to make sure those controllers are there first. But yeah, now we can see better. The depth will set it anyways, but also make it easier. And yeah, just fill out the board a little bit more. A little bit more stuff going on. In fact, like, it should probably be like this. Whoops. Okay. Something like this. Yeah, just make it a little bit more stuff going on. Also hide some of these boxes, make them a little bit harder to see, that kind of thing. So these are background boxes is the idea. These are like boxes that are more in the foreground. And yeah, I think let's just go ahead and start naming some of these. Let's name this room level 1. Let's duplicate this. Make room level 2. And for this, I really just kind of want to take out everything. I could do it on the side here, but I don't know. This is also easy. So let's say in this level, the player starts like down here. A little bit of an entrance, maybe. And this is the fun of it, right? This is where we have fun and test out some levels. As far as like, I don't know, some kind of game theory behind making these, there are like a few common types of levels in 2D platformers. There's like chaos. Well, I didn't mean that at all. Why did I say chaos? There are like chaos kind of levels, like see, I don't know, that's more of a shoot 'em up kind of thing. A lot of platformers have levels that are more like puzzles, like Shovel Knight, I think is a pretty good example. There's usually like a correct way. That's going to be impossible, isn't it? I guess something like Dead Cells, it kind of invites a more chaotic environment and for you to kind of figure out your own path versus something where the path is kind of more like a puzzle. It's sort of set. I think I like that style better, personally. It's kind of like puzzle levels. So yeah, I'm going to change these out for object spikes moving. And maybe we can get a ledge in here. Yeah, the ledge is touching the spikes. Yeah, see, that's kind of fun. Yeah, see, you can't jump all the way. And then maybe something like maybe this opens to a pit with spikes. Yeah, okay, I have an idea for this. So yeah, I'm gonna put some spikes up top so that what you have to do is like, oh, you know what, while we're here, let's go ahead and duplicate this object. And then just switch this out, sprite border for sprite green box, and I think everything can stay the same for that. And yeah, that just gives us a little bit more. Can even still put these here. And then yeah, it's a lot of spikes. Another thing I could do is like alt place them, but they'll be in this direction. See, like if I want to do the bottom, I could just alt click, 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 click. That fills up the bottom. Yeah, also let's double click in here. Okay, room level 2 is first. Yeah, that looks like something. A little bit like a Mario Maker level, but still pretty okay. So let's see. What I have to do is jump, roll. Okay, so it looks like this. Oh, whoa, we don't have collision on here, huh? This bright green box, I forgot, needs to be set to top left. What else did we changed these, right? These are top left. Oh, yeah, okay. We changed the orientation or the origin, so we got to reset these. That should be fine. Okay. I mean, it looks fun, the level itself, right? So let's see. Come in here. Whoops. Yeah, see? Got to kind of hit that just right. And jump. Didn't slide. Let's go back and try it again. Timing on it is pretty tight. Yeah, that one needs to move one over. I feel like it was maybe. Okay, let's see. Immediate fall. Okay, so up, 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 up. Don't touch the side. Jump. Yep. Okay, cool. Don't touch the side. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty hard. That's good. That's what we're looking for. Yeah, and like we did before, let's just put some of these down. Yeah, this looks good. Yeah, see, just kind of hide those spikes a little bit. Okay, so we have some levels. Should we add an enemy here? Let's add an enemy. Where would be mean? I guess this would be, because that would put that right at the start. Yeah, let's test this and then. Okay, that's not too bad. What's the other one we have? This, okay. I guess. This could probably be more like this. More of a learning level kind of thing. And yeah, do we really need another one? I don't know. I think 2 is fine for what we're doing. I should probably add another one, but we're fine. I don't want to overdo it. Let's see. So I guess what we do need another room here. We'll duplicate this one more time, and this will be room start. And yeah, we're gonna drag this. So I just double click on the side here, and I want this drag this room start up to the home. That'll make sure that's the first room we enter. And yeah, let's go ahead and create another object here. Object initializer. And then we're going to come in here to object controller main and take all of this. Yeah, all of it. And paste it here in object initializer. Yep, that looks good. So then we come into room start and just delete all of this. All of it, I said. Okay. And we'll handle this later. For now, let's just make sure object initializer is in here and object controller input. And yeah, let's go back and add stuff to object controller input. Oh, sorry, object initializer. So here we're going to do some room stuff, right? We have levels, but we're going to load them into an array. So that'll be room level 1 and room level 2. And then we're going to control that using a level index. So right now the level index is at 0, so it'll go to room level 1. And then we increase the level index before going to the next room, and it'll go to room level 2. Pretty simple, pretty easy stuff. Yeah, the cool part about this is that we can do something like global.levels equals array shuffle global.levels, and that'll shuffle it, right? Room 2 could be first, room 1 could be first, that kind of thing. Yeah, we're not going to do that for now, but that's just what that looks like. Okay, so here I've been talking about moving this for a long time. And now we finally get to. I'm going to delete this out. This is if is entering. This right here. I'm actually going to take this and cut it. So cut that right there. I'm going to take it to the very top here, paste it. Just make this look a little nicer. And yeah, if x is greater than room width plus 5, then global.level index plus plus, then room go to global.levels global.level index. Okay, cool. So yeah, I think we're ready to test that. So we start here. Oh, we don't have any way of going to the next one. Okay. So object initializer, let's do a step event real quick. If keyboard check pressed, and we'll just do VK any key. Any key can be pressed. Oh, actually, let's make it released. Just to make sure that it doesn't set anything off in the next room. Room go to global.levels global.level index. Okay. So now should be able to click enter, and we enter the first room. Cool. So come up here, up, and we get hit. That's good. That's what we want. And yeah, okay, going to the next room. There we go. The next room loads. Perfect. And yeah, if I was to finish this level, it would error because there's no more room in that array. We've reached the end of the array. This is pretty hard. Okay. Well, if I could reach it, if I could reach the end of this room, it would error. It would error if I reached the end because there's no more. There's nothing. There's no more rooms in that array. So yeah, just really quickly, I want to see if this works. I mean, I know it'll work, but global.levels equals array shuffle global.levels. This will make our rooms random. Although I still start off in the first room. See, that's the problem with random. When you have a 50-50 chance, you're just going to keep hitting that one you don't want. There we go. See? There's no way to test because it's the way it works. Okay. I mean, what are the odds it keeps happening, right? Okay, finally. So yeah, that's the idea, is that even though this is level 1, when we reshuffle the array, it goes to a different room on the first one. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's building out levels. That was pretty easy. We have one more pretty easy one with collectibles coming up. Then we're doing UI and some bosses, so it's gonna get a little bit more involved towards the end. But this is looking pretty good. We're almost done here in making our own 2D platformer. Okay, cool. Here we go. Welcome back to making your own 2D platformer in GameMaker. And we are almost done here. I mean, we have jumping, we have player interaction with traps, we have player... Oh, I died. We have dying. Yeah, this is coming along pretty far. We have a few collectibles that we want to make for this. We have these boxes, which I actually don't have in this level. Okay, yeah, here we go. So here we have these boxes, right? We can break them, but nothing really happens. So we want to put in some coins. We want to put in some collectibles. And, you know, add a chest. Add some health drops, that kind of stuff. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into that. There are some more sprites we'll need for this one. So I'm just going to go ahead and here in our sprites group, let's create another group called, oh, not all caps, collectibles. And we're going to put one here in our objects too. Collectibles. Yeah, let's shrink some of these. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and start dragging stuff into collectibles. We have our coins. Whoops. We have our, am I dragging? We have our coins. We have a key. We have these red gems. They'll be like our health pickup. And yeah, we have this locked chest here. So let's go ahead and add to our controllers our object initializer. We'll put it here. Global.coins equals 0. And we want that in our initializer so it doesn't reset every time we enter the room. But we do want to reset the key for every room. So you can't keep the key and use it later on. You got to use it in that room. And yeah, let's go ahead and make an object for our coin. This will be sprite coins. Depth equals 4. Image speed equals 0.4. And coin counter. This should really be coin delay. But it's a little bit of delay before you can pick it up. And here in the step, we have, I'm just going to call this hitting player. I have is hitting player there, but that's kind of mixing what we've done before. Collision rectangle, B box left, B box top, B box right, B box bottom, object player, 0, 0. If hitting player and coin counter less than or equal to 0, global.coins plus plus, instance destroy. And then if coin counter greater than 0, coin counter minus minus. Okay. Yeah, that's it. I mean, make the coins go up and then destroy it. And now we can come back to our box. We can add here. This will just be like whether or not it drops will be a 1 out of 10 chance. We'll just do coin drop equals I random 10. And then here, where do we want to do it before we destroy? I guess not, right? We don't want it to be all the way done. Yeah, before this, right? Because this animation done will put it in another place here. X minus 6, Y minus 8, because I think the box has a top. And so we just kind of want to put it more towards the middle of the box. But I think a little higher than it would be. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, that's it. If coin drop equals 7, make a coin. I guess we can test it now. Well, hold on. If coin drop is less than 7, that'll make sure it spawns more regularly. So there. Every time I do this, it's this corner detection right there. Okay. No coin. Wonderful. What are the odds? Hey, that looks pretty good. Cool. Same thing down here. Break the boxes and nothing. Okay. Well, that's fair, I guess. Should we increase the odds a bit? If coin drop greater than 7, that gives it like a 3 out of 10 chance, right? 2 out of 10. Sure. Okay, let's go ahead and make our object key now. So object key, sprite is sprite key. Yeah, a lot of the same stuff. I probably should have just copy pasted, but whatever. Oh, yeah, I do want to copy, paste into the step here, change out key counter, key, and instead of global.coins, global.hasKey equals true. Okay, now to a fun one. This is object chest. The sprites is this chest. And yeah, this one has a little bit of an animation to it, so yeah, this just sets it so that it's kind of facing towards the middle of the room. It looks nice. It looks more intentional. That way we don't have to make two different chest objects or like, you know, set them programmatically or anything like that. Yeah, I still want this hitting player. So I'm going to take that. And yeah, we just have to take care of our animation now. If locked. So if it's been unlocked. And yeah, when this is done, we're going to make 3 coins. One here. -3, +3. Then if you're done with that, we can just stop the animation, right? If animation done here, got an else to this. And an else here. If hitting player and global.hasKey and locked, which I don't really think we need this and locked. It's an else statement. That's asking if it's locked. If else if hitting player and global.hasKey, if global.up pressed, global.hasKey equals false, locked equals false. And really quickly, I don't know if we're going to use this right now, but I'm just going to duplicate this object coin, make object red gem, come in here, change out the sprite, image speed 0.4. This is gem counter. It could have just been counter and I wouldn't have had to change it all, but you know, is what it is. And then this should be like if global.hp less than global.hp max, global.hp plus plus. Okay. And yeah, I don't even know if we're going to use that right now, but that's good to have. So yeah, now we can start putting some of these in our rooms. Let's come in here to room level 1 and just think about where we want to put this, right? Like the chest should be up here. And the coin or the key should be like down here so that they have to make their way back up to it. And we'll just put like a random coin right here. But we got to make it, got to put some stakes to it, right? So where do we have traps? So let's put some still spikes. right here and right here. And let's put some moving spikes. Yeah, up top like this. I think that should work. Because these are actually less dangerous because you should kind of fall before they get you. So let's test that out real quick. Whoops. Every time. Yeah, those spikes are dangerous right there. And let's see. Yeah, those don't really come down. So yeah, maybe those should just be regular spikes. Oh, come on. Come on. Okay, yeah. Yeah, come here, click. Every time. Like, is that an edge problem or is it just me? It's because it's so close to the edge. When you start, it just gets me. Oh man, those spikes there. That might make it impossible. Yeah, jumping's fine. You just can't jump. You have to hit the bottom fully. So yeah, let's see. Let's come up here, attack that, get the key. I can't make it back up there. Oh, I can. Yeah, that's good. See, that's what we test for. Yeah, open that, get the coins. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's build out a few more in here. So this, I think that's too close. Yeah, let's come into room level 2. Same kind of thing. Put the key down here. Put the chest, I don't know, up here. I don't want to just keep putting the coins in the corners, but I mean, I guess that's what it is for now. Every time. Okay. We can go down. Come back up to the danger zone. Grab the coins. Move on. Okay. Jump. Oh. Gotta get that a little tighter down. Okay, so... yeah, well, it errors because we're out of rooms, right? Okay, cool. Yeah, there we go. Just a quick little one. You know, we've got our collectibles now. Oh, you know what? Let's go ahead and just add... just to make sure this works. And we won't know because we don't have any UI yet, but that'll be next time, so... yeah, we've got just 2 more to do here. We've got UI and we've got bosses, so we are almost done here. And yeah, we can collect it. You know, we don't see what that does yet because we don't have anything out. But yeah, the next one will be a little bit more involved. We'll be making all of our UI, and then we just got bosses. So okay, here we go. Welcome back to making your own 2D platformer in GameMaker. We are almost done here. We've done so much already. We've got this fun jumping. We've got enemies. We've got collectibles. We've got dodge rolling. And yeah, we've got some interactivity. We can go get that key down there, open this chest. Come on. Break these boxes. We've got some nice little room decorations. This is all coming together, but one thing we are definitely lacking. Come on, get up there. And open. There we go, get these coins. One thing we don't have is any UI, right? We have no idea how many coins we've picked up. We don't know what our health is. And yeah, we don't know if we have the key, all that kind of stuff. And it's time to start adding that in. So here we go. Let's get to it. I think the first thing right off the bat, outside of all of these, let's shrink these down. Yeah, we want one more group here as like a main group, and this is fonts. So we're going to make a new font here. Let's come in and create font. This will be font menu. And the font is Tilt Neon. These come from Google Fonts. They're free for personal and commercial projects. Usually you will have to check the license. And here in sprites, we're going to add a new group. Create group called UI. And same thing here in objects. create group UI. Come on, UI. Okay. So now let's come in and make some sprites for this. We're going to duplicate sprite border here and name it, oh, whoops, sprite menu border. And let's drag this into our UI. Then we're going to edit image, and I'm just looking for like this, where this gray meets right here. I'm going to change this to any color, it doesn't really matter. Take the open square tool. I just want to make sure I get all of this and only this, right? Next, I'm going to take the eyedropper tool, get this middle color, and we're going to do the same thing, but on the top. So we're just changing the top to this whole one color. Whoops. To this whole one color. Next, we're going to take this color remove tool right here and take this out. So what this will do, will give it a clean area. You'll notice at the top here, like there's just some overlap at the top. That's not really going to make a clean UI place. So we're just going to put this over it. So yeah, with that done, let's go ahead and make our own. So we're going to create sprite. This will be sprite health bar. And the size is 64 by 8. Perfect. Come in here to edit image. Let's get like this red, but I want it to be a little bit darker. So maybe like that. Is that too bright? I'm sure that's fine. Take the closed square tool again, and we're just going to take this and make it one lighter, one lighter here. Yeah, like that. Kind of take this along the top here. Just kind of make a little bit of a highlight. And yeah, just to make sure, I'm going to take the eyedropper tool, get this red. And same thing, just make it darker by 1. Yeah, bring that along the bottom here. Maybe off. Yeah, like that. Maybe a little too big. Just like that. That's probably fine. And yeah, let's make another frame. Add frame. Let's just fill this with like a dark gray. Yeah, I think that's good. And finally, we have sprite icon boy. So let's come into our characters. Where do we have player and sprite boy idle? We're going to duplicate this. We just want the head, right? So sprite menu boy. Take, where did that go to? Yep. Take this, drag it down to UI. Come in here, delete out everything but that first frame. Then we're going to come into edit image, take the eraser tool, and just delete everything that's not the head. Just come in and get all that out. Okay, next let's take the eyedropper tool, get this color, and just make sure that we still have the outline. Get the pencil tool here, kind of draw that out. So yeah, now he has a bottom to his head. And yeah, I think that's all the sprites we're gonna need for this. Yeah, we do have a few more things. We need like buttons, right? Like when we first load in, there's nothing there. So let's come back, let's close this, come back to objects, UI. And we're going to create an object. This is object button start. And the sprite's going to be sprite border. We're just going to push up the image X scale so that it, fits. X equals room width minus sprite width divided by 2. That'll center it. And then we don't really want the Y centered. We want it to be a little bit higher up. It just looks nicer. Whenever it's centered, it just looks too far down. Drawstring equals, press enter. And we have a draw event here. So we want to draw self because we want to see that border. Font. We're setting the font to font menu, setting the color to white. Oh yeah, okay. String width, drawstring is what we're drawing. Var sh equals string height. And we do this after setting the font, and we have our drawstring in here, so it'll be the same every time. And again, we're just trying to center it here. SWH equals Y plus sprite height minus SW divided by 2 SH. This should really be SWX and SHY. I see why I did not name it that. Okay. All right, cool. So yeah, that's what we have. Draw text, SWX, SWH, drawstring. Okay. So yeah, we're just making it the middle there. And I think we're just going to pop this into room start. Just leave it on the side there. It should correct itself. Oh, whoops. Where was that? This is not a string drawstring. It's the variable drawstring. Okay, yeah, that looks much better. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. So yeah, we're just going to duplicate this. To make object button paused. And yeah, I think all we have to do is drawstring equals paused. That should be good. And yeah, we'll just leave this for now. Let's go ahead and make object menu border. We want depth equals 2. Okay. Image x scale equals room width divided by 32. So that'll make sure it stretches along the length of the room. Yeah, okay, so we have this object health bar highlight that'll show how much health we have left. So that's sprite health bar. Let's see, image speed equals 0. Depth equals 0. Target equals global.hp slash global.h divided by global.hp max. So yeah, we're going to set a target so that we can do like a lerp function. So it like, you'll see, it gives a little bit of an animation to it instead of just taking it down directly how much we lose. And yeah. So the H scale is what's actually going to scale. Image X scale equals H scale. Target equals the same thing. Yeah, TL here is our tolerance. So we just have like a small tolerance. So if we say if target is less than H scale, the lerp function doesn't always set it exactly right. It's kind of around there. So we just do a little bit of a tolerance check. And 0.5. So it gives it just a little bit of a tween, I think is what it technically is. And yeah, so here, let's create another object. Object health bar, sprite health bar, image speed equals 0, equals 1, depth equals 1, and then this spawns the other one, right? Object health bar highlight, which reminds me before this messes up, these sprites here, this needs to be top left, and so does this. Okay, that is. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's make our icon for the boy. This is just a little visual element here. So sprite UI, sprite boy. Depth equals 0. I forgot. Do we have depth? Depth equals 0, depth equals 1. Okay, that's right. So create object. This is for the coins. So this will be sprite, collectibles, sprite coins. Equals 0. Depth equals 0. Oh, whoops. We have a draw event for this. We draw how many coins there are, right? Draw set font menu. Draw set color C white. Draw text. X plus 10. Y minus 10. X plus string global.coins. And then, yeah, finally we have the key icon. So object icon key. Same thing, pull this from the collectibles. Image alpha equals 0. Okay. So yeah, something I put in my notes to consider is that true and false defaults to 0 and 1. So you could do something like this, right? Image alpha equals global.hasKey. And so when global.hasKey is true, then image alpha will be 1. When it's false, it will be 0. So, I mean, that's a way to do it, but I want to just like put in a little bit of like a fade in effect. Yeah, and then if we lose it, now 0.2 is pretty quick, right? That's only like 5 frames or something, but I think it just helps without like popping it in. So yeah, now we just want to add these to our object controller main. Set these pop up in the room. So here in the create, oh yeah, we're also going to put a paused in here. So let's do global.paused equals false. Then we can say instance create layer 0, 0 instances object menu border. That'll spawn that. We have our head icon, and I just want to save these in variables. Feels like the right thing to do. And then yeah, I have in here like 30, 16 instances object icon boy. The way that I got these 30 and 16 numbers was just by dragging these into the room. Whoops, let's see, instances layer. Yeah, just kind of dragging and seeing like where these looked good. So yeah, that's where these numbers come from. Let's see, 47, 14. What else? Key icon. To 30, 15 instances, object icon key, and then finally coin icon, icon coin. It's 250, 16, 250, 16, perfect. And then finally, pause button equals no one. I have global.start pressed in here. I don't know about that. I'm just going to say if global.paused pause button equals instance create layer, and this is, oh yeah, it handles itself, right? It handles where it places itself, so we just want to spawn it way outside the room, and then it'll correct itself in its create event. Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's see. Let's come back here to object controller input. And yeah, we're missing something here. global dot start pressed equals keyboard check pressed VK enter. Okay, now we can come back to object controller main. And this is a good example of what we're going to do for the next part here. So we're just taking all of that, and if global.start pressed, just lumping it all in there, right? So now, let's see, this should work. If we come in here, we have our main thing, we can press enter. Yeah, we have our little UI elements up there, so it's really starting to come together. Now when I press paused, the pause thing comes up, but nothing pauses, right? Like I can still go back and forth. Here's the dirty way that I like to do it. After I've built everything out, let's come in here to characters. All we have to do for this is find where we want this to start. So here, if not global.paused. Open, take everything in here. Well, yeah, everything in here like that. Same thing, we'll take this step. Let's look at what's in it. Yeah, this kind of stuff. So we're just going to want to do this right at the top here. If not, global.paused. Open it up. Take all this. Ooh, there's a lot going on here. Oh well. Same thing. Now, same, yeah, need these spikes moving. Now, isn't there like a bunch of built-in ways in GameMaker to pause all of the objects? And like, yes, there are, but you don't have control over it. You don't have control over what's being paused and what's not. This way, you're programming everything to be paused only for a specific time. And the reason why, let's go ahead and show. This is for an effect I really like. Let's wait until something's been fired. Okay, so we pause, right? Oh, I see something. Okay, really quickly, let's come in here. This needs an else. Same here. We want the image speed to be 0 if global.paused, right? Okay, so now when we come in here, press enter. Every time I do that, every time. Okay, and I will jump, pause. You see, like the collectibles are still kind of turning there. I like that. I like that effect. I think that's fun. I think it seems very dynamic, very alive. You know, the players pause, the projectiles are paused, but the collectibles are still moving around. That's something you can do when you control what's being paused and what's not. And yeah, we can unpause and it goes away. Everything goes back to moving. And yeah, we have our... Let's go ahead and restart this. I just want to see... Let's make sure our health is working correctly. So when we enter here, we get hurt. The health goes down 1. It goes down 2. That's great. So now we should collect this item. Our health goes up. Okay, cool. And the last thing I think is this key. When we collect the key pops up in the corner. Okay, awesome. And yeah... Okay, cool. We're almost done with this. We got one more thing. We just got to do bosses, which is kind of like the final boss of this for me, because it's going to be a little bit more involved than we've done so far. We've had some quick, easy ones, so let's finish it off with bosses. We'll have level progression leading up to a boss fight, and yeah, we'll have a 2D platformer game. We're doing it. We're getting close. Okay, here we go. Okay, welcome back to the final one of these. We've got so much done already. We've got UI menus. We've got a character that jumps. We've got enemies that shoot projectiles. We've got roll dodging. We've got collectibles. I don't remember if I said that already. Yeah, I think... Oh, yeah, and we have... Yeah, like a level system. The last thing we need to bring this all together is a boss, right? Something that after you've completed the levels gives you that last final challenge, which is also the last final challenge in this video because this will be kind of a long one. So let's just go ahead and get right into it here. We have some new sprites. So let's go ahead and make here in enemies. We will create a new group. This is frog, boss frog, whatever you want to call it. We have an attack. Let's see. Okay, we have a hit here. We have an idle animation and a run. And then we actually want to set all of these to 48 by 35, 48 by 35, 48 by 35, 48 by 35, and 48 by 35. Okay, so let's take this attack right here and just duplicate this. This will be sprite frog highlight. And then we're going to come into edit image here. And let's see, how do we want to do this? Let's take this color fill tool and get a white. And we're going to color in everything except that outline and the tongue. So everything in all of these frames. Everything except that outline and that tongue. So, yep. And keep it going. Almost done. And I'm not going to explain what this is for just yet. I think it'll make sense as we're going through it. Okay, yep. Just double check, come in here. Perfect. Okay. So now we're going to have some specific sprites for this frog. We're going to have the collision mask that we've done before, but we're also going to have a special hit mask for this tongue, right? Now, if we turn the collision mask, we can see that it's like for this entire thing, and that's not right? We don't want to get hit, or we don't want to be able to hit the player, all that kind of stuff if it's like in this corner. So we're going to set something very specific for it. Let's come in here and create sprite. This is sprite frog sea mask. The size is 20 by 24. We'll edit this image. We're going to make it a blue, but we're going to come in and drop the alpha just so we can see the frog behind it. And yeah, let's get the fill tool, just make it like that. And then we also have, so that's the collision mask, and we also have a hit mask. So this is sprite frog H mask, and the size is 45 by 8. So it's that tongue, right? It's that nice horizontal kind of area. And same thing, we just want to drop out the alpha. And yeah. So let's go ahead and make those objects now. Let's come in here to characters, or enemies actually, create the group for the frog. Create object frog. Which one first? This is the collision mask. The sprite will be the collision mask that we made. And for now, let's set the image alpha to 1 so we can see it. You really don't? Okay, yeah. So let's create object frog, set the sprite to, what is this? Idle. And yeah, we're going to type some stuff out here that won't come back and do the... Oh, yeah, I don't know if we need this. I see now that I copied and pasted this from the TV head, but I don't know if I want to do that. I think it might just be easier to write this all out. Yeah, we have a few frog states. We have idle, running, hit, attacking, and dying. Our frog state equals frog state.idle is moving left equals true, move speed equals 1, image x scale equals 1, don't know why I set that up, dying frames equals 0, dying frames total equals 14, dying loops equals 3. Same kind of thing we've been doing. HP equals 5. We could have made that into a function if we wanted, but when we're doing like frame specific stuff, I think it's kind of messy. Rather just run it in the step event. Let's see, we have attack delay equals 24.
Then we set up our CMask, right? CMask equals instance create layer X, Y, instances, object, frog, HMask. Okay. Whoops. CMask. We haven't done HMask yet. HMask equals no one. Highlight equals no one. And yeah, let's go ahead and just create object, frog, HMask. Again, this will be that tongue mask we set up. That's the hit mask. That's what interacts, that's what collides with the player to be hit. We have a slight delay on it just to get the frames to match up, and we actually do quite a bit of work to get frames to match up later. Whoops, we already have a create event. We're going to do step. The same thing we've seen a million times. Object player, got to give it something to hit, right? Yeah. If delay greater than 0, delay minus minus, else if is left. Yeah, this is just to get it to match up with the frames, right? When we have this attack, it's out and then it starts to curl back in right there, but it's not gone, so we still want you to be able to get hit off of that. So it's just a little bit of fine tuning that I did before. Where were we? HMask here. If image is greater than 0, image X scale minus equals 0.25. If is left. Oh yeah, okay. Because the image X scale is going to be different. Yeah, so that controls its little animation, and now we just control the hitting logic. Okay. And yeah, that's it for that. Let's go ahead and make our highlight. Sprite frog highlight. Image speed equals 0. Depth equals 6. Image blend equals C red. That's why we made it white, so that we can control the color through image blend. And actually, I just realized something, but we'll deal with it later. There might actually be a better way to do this. Let's see. Step. Plus equals 0.5. Yeah, we don't blend it completely, right? We just want there to be a little bit more. And this is... So, with boss fights, you cannot always attack the boss, right? The boss has a fair bit of invincibility, and that happens when we're attacking. So we want some kind of visual feedback to know the enemy can't be attacked right now, right? So it glows red. Basic video game logic kind of stuff. If object frog dot frog state does not equal state dot attacking instance destroy. So we just get rid of it right away, right? And then yeah, okay, here's our long thing. So we're gonna add a step event to our object frog. I think after this we're pretty much done. Why did I do it this way? Whatever. No. Let's keep our naming conventions straight. Var hitting wall. collision. Whoops. Old name. Object barrier wall. And another one for hitting floor. And it's a lot of the same stuff that we did with the TV head, right? There's our paused. We're going to put our switch statement inside of here. This is case frog state dot idle. Easy, easy, easy. Sprite. Always the home stretch. Sprite frog idle. Image speed equals 0.3. If instance, that's right, we have to do this because we're doing a direct check on its Y. So we have to make sure the player's there. To Y plus 10. Y minus 10, what am I doing? So if you fall in far enough, and that's just based on how I made this boss level. Yeah, keep moving down the line. Whoops. Do some resetting up top. Image speed equals 0.8. Image x scale equals 1. X minus equals move speed. cmask.x minus equals move speed. We want to keep that mask moving, right? Our collision mask. Else, this opposite. Image.x scale equals -1. Plus equals. Plus equals. Okay, if is hitting wall or is not. Whoops, we changed these. If hitting wall or not hitting floor. If x is less than object player.x is moving left equals false. Okay. If object player.x minus x less than 50 and attack delay and no attack delay. Yes. Okay. So yeah, if the distance between the player and the frog boss is less than 50, then attack. Yeah, image. Whoa. Image index equals 0. Frog state equals frog state dot attacking. Then yeah, we can just take this here. Else if x greater than object player dot x is moving left equals true. If now it's x minus object player dot x, right? Yeah. Okay, and then yeah, outside of all of this, I think we just have if attack delay greater than 0, attack delay minus minus, else we just want to reset this, make sure it is 0. Attack delay equals 0. Next we have the attacking. Reset the globals up top. Give us a sprite index. Yeah, so we're doing this again. We're controlling the animation manually, so we set the image speed to 0 and then change the image index with the integer that we set up. So if attack frames less than attack frames total, attack frames plus plus. Oh, no, hold on. Highlight dot attack frames equals attack frames. We gave highlight attack frames, right? Yeah, okay, cool. And yeah, we're just making sure that these are always set to the same thing. So we're not relying on the image speed, the animation for any of that. We're controlling them all directly. Attack frames for the highlight equals the same attack frames. Here, else, if it doesn't exist, we make it, right? And then yeah, if not moving left, highlight dot image x scale equals -1. Okay, I guess we're still inside of here. So if attack frames less than attack frames total, then attack frames plus plus, which attack frames greater than or equal to 20, and no instance exists H mask. This is where we make the hit mask, right? So it's not there all the way for the attack. It only shows up towards like frame 5 or something. Then we just want to make sure it's all moving in the same direction. I don't know why I set both of these up, but we'll do it again. And then yeah, down here, once this is done, get rid of these. I don't really like destroying the highlight in 2 places. Do we destroy the highlight here? Oh, this is just making sure. Okay, I guess that's fine. And then, yeah, I think frog state equals frog state dot running. Okay, yeah, I think this is the last case here. We're really close. Okay. Sprite index equals sprite frog hit. Can I just... I think I can just take all of this. I'd rather not write it. It's the same thing, right? If dying loop's greater than 0. Yeah, I just took it from object TV head, the TV head state dying. I just grabbed this dying loop statement, this right here. And yeah, I'm just double checking it. Dying loop's greater than 0. Here, else instance destroy. This needs to be if HP greater than 0, HP minus minus. Frog state equals frog state dot running. Else instance destroy CMask instance destroy. Okay, now we have our collision. So outside of all of them, well, what are we outside of? Global.pos, let's do inside of there. If instance exists, player, and if, and this is specifically on the CMask, right? CMask.bbox left, CMask.bbox top, and we're pulling the boundary box for only the CMask, right? If frog state does not equal frog state dot attacking, frog state equals, right? We're saying if it's attacking, then you can't hit it. We still want it to bounce off. So we do this thing, x minus object player dot x. We have our ternary here. I think that's what it's called. So yeah, if this is true, then it'll be PR left. If it's false, it'll be PR right. That's right. Detect. Yeah, here, so else. If you can't hit, then you are hit. Yeah, outside of this, we still have that else image speed equals 0. And then finally, if instance exists, object player, if object player dot player state equals player state dot dying, frog state equals frog state dot idle. So just reset, if it's dying, stop chasing the player, that kind of thing. Yeah, okay, let's build out a room for this. So we have our rooms here. We'll do room level 2, duplicate room boss 1. Okay. Man, I really just want to delete everything from here. So let's go ahead and add, oh man, how about this one comes up, not all the way. We also need one at the top, right? No matter what. We need one that comes down to here. And yeah, we want a side. Let's give it another side. Then yeah, maybe one bottom. Just kind of freestyling here. And yeah, we can put spikes here at the bottom. Hold down Alt, I can just draw those out. Copy, paste these in place. Select all of them, copy, paste, rotate, and put on the other side there. I feel like this isn't going to be enough room. Then we can put our frog down here. Gotta kind of position that a little better. Let's do it like that. And let's give a ledge. Let's line that up. And yeah, we just need our player. I'm going to move the room to the that's right. That's not how we do it anymore. Where is object initializer? And we're just going to put room boss 1 first. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah, we left these on, right? So we can see what's going on with the collision. So yeah, that's the hit mask right there. Oh no, he's not attacking. That's not good. Let's see. Let's go back. I see. You know what? I butchered this statement. Let's go back here real quick. Okay, yeah, I see that this was done incorrectly, so let's just fix this really quickly. If is moving left, x plus equals, and you can check this on the GitHub. We're doing the same thing where we're just moving it back. If is hitting wall or is hitting floor. If is moving left, x plus equals move speed times 2. cmask dot x plus equals move speed times 2 is moving left equals false. And then probably the opposite. And then we're actually going to right here finish off this statement, throw this in an else. And yeah, that's looking like how it should be. Ooh, okay, what did I do here? Object frog highlight, line 7, object frog highlight, object frog. Okay, typo. Okay, one last time. Oh wow, there's a bunch of errors in here, aren't there? Okay. Yeah, okay, that looks like that there's another error there. Yikes. Okay, so object frog, let's go back and do a little bit of troubleshooting. It's not loading if attack frames less than attack frames total. So this should be inside of here, right? If attack frames greater than or equal to 20 and instance exists hmask and no instance exists hmask. Okay, just realized why the image alpha is set to 0. That's not really an error, that's the way it should be, but we can't really see what's going on, so let's just change that so we can see here. So yeah, the blue over. Oh, see, yep, there's the problem. Okay. Yep, middle, center. This needs to be. Yeah, let's try top left. See how it goes. I think that should be fine. Yeah, I have in my settings to always have the origin set to middle, and that messed us up a few times here. Yeah, okay, I get it. It wants to be, I think, middle right. Something to write down in the notes for sure. Yep, there we go. It is staying for a second too long, though. Boy, a lot of errors in this last one. Jeez. Okay, let's see. Ooh. Okay, I think I switched the I switched the origin around, so I think I have to switch the signs around. I admittedly did this. This is the last part of it, so this hasn't been cleaned up too much. But again, you know, it's probably good to see how we get here. That looks much better. See, it pops back. That time it lasted too long. Yeah, see, it's one side is messed up. Yeah, you know, okay, whatever. Let's take this out. We're gonna increase the delay to 20 and then just remove it entirely. That this thing isn't working. We're gonna do an instance destroy here, which means we have to come back to object frog and just do here where we destroy hmask. If instance exists, hmask, instance destroy hmask. Okay. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Delay equals 2. If delay is greater than 0, delay minus minus, else instance destroy. What else is going on? It's making a new one. It's making a new one. Okay, so I just went down a rabbit hole. I'm gonna cut all of that. Yeah, this object frog H masks this delay, just letting you know what's going on if you want to fix this yourself, because I'm not. Um, when the H mask goes away, it can accidentally recreate it. So yeah, I just went ahead and put this back the way it was, and it's just the timing is going to be a little off, but that's just the way it's going to have to be for this. So yeah, I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole. So yeah, we see here the tongue comes out. The hit mask for it stays just a little too long, and that's the fine tuning. A lot of this whole thing that I've done here is skip the fine tuning. I've done it for you, and so you just get the end result. All you have to do is make sure you get all like the +2, +16, all that kind of stuff correctly. But that came from a lot of time of me testing and figuring out what felt good to play, what looked good, what worked programmatically. So yeah, this should, yeah, see, now I die. So that should just be an example or give you something to do after this. All that fine tuning stuff. So yeah, maybe it's good that I leave it here, and you can kind of figure that out how you want to fine tune it yourself. I mean, that's going to be the next big part of this, right? How do we make this feel really just that all those mechanics, all that gameplay feel super tight? And that's the real challenge of this. That's where making the 2D platformer stops being like a fun little hobby project and an actual game. So yeah, we see here he turns red, which means we can't attack. We just fly right off. And yeah, there we just got burned by that hit mask being there for a little too long. But I mean, you look at like Dark Souls and stuff like that. The same kind of thing happens. The hit mask for the hitbox, whatever, the collision for the weapon, might not match exactly where the weapon is all the time. And there's programming reasons for that, like we see. So yeah, it's interesting. After all of this, I leave you in a little bit of a deflated state myself because, it's not quite perfect and tight the way I wanted it to be. But that's the challenge, and that's the fun of game dev. It's about making it as perfect as you can or as you want, and just kind of making something that feels good to play. So let's come in here to Object Initializer and just put all of these in order, right? Room level 1, room level 2, room, boss. And, room, boss 1. If we wanted to, we could do like a room end screen or something once we defeated that frog enemy. But yeah, let's just play this whole thing out really quickly. So we've got our first level here, got some enemies, got some collectibles, got hit. Let's destroy that, come in here. Oh, see, that wasn't a box there. There was no collision. Okay. So we got here. And then we have our boss. Gotta wait to attack. Hit. Yep, wait to attack. So there are some frames right after the enemy attacks. They don't attack again. Okay, cool. So that's gonna be it for me for this whole thing. We've gotten a lot done. I mean, we have a full 2D platformer game here. We have levels, we have a boss, we have upgrades. Wait, no, we don't have upgrades. Upgrades next time. But yeah, I hope this gives you a lot that you can play around with and that you can make a game that is as fun to play as it is to make. That's the point of this, making something that's fun to make. You can make your little levels, adjust stuff as you want. I've had a lot of fun doing this. I haven't actually released this game yet as of the time of me recording this, but I've had a lot of fun just messing around with it from time to time. And that's the point. Game dev can be a real crapshoot if anyone ever even sees or plays your game, much less you make a bunch of money off of it. If you're not having fun with game dev, then, and yeah, if you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to reach out through Discord and we'll try to figure it out together. And if you end up making a game with this, please send it to me. I want to play it. I would really like to play that game. Other than that, thank you so much for sticking around and doing this, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!
Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments or need help figuring something out, you can reach out through Discord and we can try to figure it out together. And if you finished this whole thing, I just want to say congratulations. You spent a chunk of your time refining your skills and making something that's yours. And I really think you should keep going. Add more levels, switch out the assets, add a great story and make it a roguelike like I did. Whatever makes you feel like this is uniquely yours, because it is. And I just wanted to give a huge thank you to my Ko-Fi and YouTube members. Your support keeps this channel going, so I can make weird stuff that helps other people make weird stuff. And if you're not a member, for as little as $5 a month, you can suggest new videos, get access to behind the scenes content and stream archives, early access to new games, or pretty much anything else I can think of, as well as supporting a growing community and helping me in my dream of speedrunning building Flappy Bird at GDQ. 2032, here we come. Alright, that's all I got. Thank you so much again, and I'll see you in the next one.